So this video is everything I think you need to know about sunscreen, because summer is soon coming, or has come to a lot of places. It's a few months before it's here, but it is always good to know a lot about sunscreen if you're going on a holiday, to prevent a sunburn or just to prevent wrinkles, because as you know or should know, the sun is the biggest cause for wrinkles. First, when it comes to sunscreen, what kind of sunscreen should you choose? There are basically two different types. There is chemical sunscreen and there is physical sunscreen. The basic difference in these is what they're made of. The physical sunscreen works in a way that physically blocks out the UV rays. It is kind of a lot of small mirrors that you put on your skin, and they reflect the UV rays so they don't penetrate your skin. These physical sunscreen, they can be quite thick, and they can also give a bit of a white cast, but they are really good for sensitive skin because they do not penetrate your skin. They just lie on top of it. And this sunscreen also just works right away. When you put it on, you are ready to go out, and it just protects you. This sunscreen doesn't have to be reapplied unless you are sweating, bathing, or rubbing yourself and it's raining or something like that. It will rub off, but it doesn't stop working. But as most people, you do sweat a bit all the time, so you should reapply it. You don't have to reapply it as often as chemical sunscreen unless you do not swim or anything like that. To see if your sunscreen is a physical sunscreen, they have the ingredients titanium dioxide or zinc oxide. So that's the two ingredients that you should look for if you're looking for a physical sunscreen. And the other type is the chemical sunscreen, which is the most common type. And this is not as greasy as the other type. A lot of them looks better in the skin. It doesn't leave a white cast. But this is not as good for sensitive skin because it penetrates your skin. And a lot of people with sensitive skin, me, I am one of them, do react easily to these kinds of sunscreen. So because it has to be absorbed into your skin, you have to wait for 20 to 30 minutes before it actually works. And because this molecule absorbs the UV rays, it stops working after about it stops working as good as after about 2 hours. So you have to reapply it then, or even before 2 hours has passed if you haven't been swimming, rubbing yourself with a towel, etc, etc. And most sunscreens are a combination of these, and then we call them chemical sunscreens, because physical sunscreens should not have any chemical ingredients. And there's a lot of different ingredients that absorb the UV rays in chemical sunscreen, but some of them are avobenzone and octyl-cryoline or something. I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, but there's a lot of different UV absorbers in them. So as long as it's not titanium dioxide or zinc oxide, it is not a physical sunscreen. And if you look at this is just a random bottle of sunscreen that I got, you see the SPF. And yeah, this is SPF 50. And what SPF means is how long you can stay in the sun before you get sunburn, compared to how fast you would get a sunburn without sunscreen. So if it is a SPF 50, it means that if you get a sunburn in 1 minute, you will get a sunburn after 50 minutes. Or if you get a sunburn after 2 minutes, you will, without sunscreen, you will not get a sunburn before it has passed 100 minutes. So it's not like it lasts for 50 minutes or 50 hours. It is individual for each person. But no matter what, you should reapply it every other hour, or yeah, what you do depending on what kind of sunscreen you have. And this SPF, it only says the factor for the UVB. There's two different UV rays that we have to be concerned about down on Earth, and that is UVA UVA rays and UVB rays. UVB rays, that this measures it what makes you tan and also what gives you a sunburn. UVA, it is what gives you wrinkles and also it is responsible for skin cancer. So because this is just responsible, the SPF that says on the bottle, for UVB, it doesn't even have to have a UVA protection at all. So what you should look for in the U is this mark here, where it says UVA with a ring around. That means that the UVA protection is at least 1/3 of the UVB protection. So I'm going to use it, but if it was 30, if the UVB protection was 30, the UVA would be 10. But usually it is higher than that, but that is what it has to be. It has to be 1/3. So look for that in the EU. And the USA, it should say that broad spectrum. That means that the UVA protection is as high as the UVB protection. So what kind of SPF should you use? I would say you should use a as high SPF as possible. In the EU, the highest you can get is 50 plus. That means it's basically usually 60 or maybe even higher than that. Because it doesn't exist any sunscreen that protects your skin 100%, and I think 50 protects like 96 or 98% or something, so it's a lot. And if you some countries have sunscreens that are like 200 and 150 and stuff like that, they will maybe just protect 1% more, so it isn't really a point, and they will just be more gooey and awful to wear. So any more than 50 plus isn't really any point in, because sunscreen have a tendency to be more thicker and maybe a bit more greasy the higher SPF you have. But if you find that 50 are too greasy, even though I know of several sunscreen with SPF 50 that are not greasy at all, I would say go for at least SPF 30. And a big question, how much sunscreen should I wear? Most people do wear too little sunscreen. To get the SPF that it says on the bottle for your face, you should wear at least 1 teaspoon of sunscreen. That will make you look greasy, I can promise at first, but if it is a good sunscreen, it will absorb into your skin after a while and you will avoid a greasy face. And for your body, you should wear a cup tan like this, so it is quite a lot. And the bigger person you are, of course your hands are bigger, your body is bigger, you have to wear more sunscreen. And a myth about sunscreen is that it will give you pimples, and another thing is that if you have sun on your face, that will make pimples go away. And both are actually true and false. If you wear a sunscreen that are meant for your body or from a really bad brand, it probably will break out your face, because most sunscreens are greasy, and also from good brands they are greasy. But sunscreen without oil exists, so if you get a good one, it will not break you out. And also the myth about that sun makes pimples dry up, you will get less pimples. That is also true, but the thing is that sun dries out your skin. It makes the whole process of renewal go slower. So yes, in the first month you get sun, maybe the first 2 months, if you have a lot of sun on your face, the pimples will go away, but they will come back even worse in the fall or after a while. The skin will have to overproduce fat to get the moisture back into your skin, and the skin is like, the skin gets really like crazy because all this exposure. So after a while you will break out even worse than you did before you went into the sun. Next myth, I will say that it is that you don't tan with sunscreen on. That is also false. Sunscreen do not protect 100% from UV rays. So yes, you will tan, it just takes longer. I don't really want to recommend, because if you are long enough in the sun to tan, it is also way long enough to damage your skin. But if you really want to tan, be sure to wear SPF. If you wear SPF and you get tan more gradually, it will also last longer. the next thing is a myth that a lot of people think that if you have a powder, a foundation with SPF, that is enough. If it says SPF 50, you will get 50. That is also kind of true, but think of if you have a lot of BB cream, for example, they say SPF 50. Well, they do have SPF 50, but the thing is, to get the SPF it says on the bottle, you will have to wear a teaspoon of that BB cream or whatever foundation it says to get the SPF that it says. And who wears a teaspoon of foundation on their face? Like, who does that? You will look incredibly awful. Yeah. So SPF in makeup, it can be a good additional layer, and it will get you some but very little sun protection. So that is not enough. Wear sunscreen. And also for your lips, you can, of course, you can wear normal sunscreen on your lips. The thing is that you talk, you get some spit on your lips, you maybe touch your lips, you eat, so it will rub off a lot easier. So always have a chopstick or an SPF stick with you to apply more often to your lips. I apply like every 10 minutes or so, but just reapply often because it will wear off much faster than in the rest of your face and your body. A popular new thing, I don't know if a new thing, but it is these sprays, the SPF sprays, and these are good because they're not like sticky on your skin. And yeah, the thing is that with this, it is hard to get enough SPF on. So these sprays, they are good because they aren't as greasy, but you will have to apply several layers to get the same amount of sunscreen on the skin that you would with a cream. So I would actually just recommend go for a cream, because you will you will have to apply a lot of the spray. So yeah, that was just everything. I know a lot about sunscreen for some reason, so if you are wondering about something or it is something that I haven't mentioned, because I didn't want to make this video too long, even though it probably got a bit longer than I expected it to be, you can just ask me. Yeah, so yeah, hope this was helpful information for somebody, and yeah, thank you for watching my video. Yeah, okay, bye bye.